If you have cats, you can't wear black. Lesson 1. So when you buy your first camera cage or when you're trying to rig your first handheld setup, it can be quite daunting to choose all the right parts that go together because there's so many of them. They all cost different things and they all do different things in different ways. So which ones do you buy? But Falcam have come out with a great solution, and it is this. It's the Falcam F22 quick release cage system. And what they've done cleverly is they've made all the parts quick release with this Nato system. And all the parts go together and you can easily customize your cage however you want by being able to easily mount any of the accessories wherever you want on the cage, and it's awesome. Look at this. So I could take this side handle off here, take off the top handle and then the other side handle, and if I wanted to, I could go into portrait mode and put the top handle on the side there and then this side handle on the top, and then I am in portrait mode and I've got my own portrait camera cage system. How cool is that? So in this video, we're going to be looking at all the different parts, what they are, where you can get them from, and I'll leave a link in the description. We're also going to be looking at the quality, how well it's made, and who is this for, and whether or not it's right for you. So let's jump in and have a look. So first of all, the main component of this whole thing centers around the cage, the F22 I believe, but it says F22 and F38. I'm not quite sure what that is, I'll have to double check. They do a wide range of camera brands on there. I'm using the Canon R6 at the moment, but they also do Sony's and other cameras, so just double check on the website and make sure they've got your camera model. I'm sure they'll be adding to this list. Just keep checking if you want one of these and they don't do it yet. Drop them a message seeing if they've got any plans to see if they're going to do your camera model in the future. I like the colour. It's sort of almost like a gunmetal grey / blue type thing. Really nice. I like the design of it. And obviously you've got loads of mounting points and loads of threads so you can mount any accessory you want using this. It's also got this little pin which locks your camera in place and means it doesn't swivel, and that's good. That's what you want in a cage because there's nothing worse than having it tightened but not tight enough and then your camera sort of swivels. So I like having that pin and it keeps it nice and secure in the cage. My favourite thing is I use these little Falcam quick release plates on all my tripods and all my cameras so I can just switch nice and easily. But the thing with that is if I want to put my camera in a cage, I have to take this plate off, then put the camera in the cage, then mount the plate onto the cage, then put it on the tripod. Whereas this camera cage has one of those quick release plates built into it, so you don't have to faff around with that. Now I can just stick it on top of the tripod and away I go. We've also got a couple of cold shoe mounts around the cage as well. So this is what a normal quick release plate looks like, and I would consider that as quite small. But look at this, look at that, it's tiny. And all the accessories have these on them, so anything fits. Right, the next thing are these side handles. I love this grip. They're nice and small, they're not too big, and it's a perfect grip for your hand. So I've got two of them here, so I've got a left one and a right one, even though you can set them up left or right, it's up to you. And you can easily change that just by using the Allen key, and you can swap that round to the other side, make it left or right handed. You can also move this bracket up and down, so you can have the side handle a little bit lower or a little bit higher if you wanted to, depending on where things are on your cage or how you want to hold the camera. So that's what I really like, nice and customizable. Then you've got the Nato rail system on the top, easily accessible. You've got a button there which releases it, and it's just great. Again, love the colour, this nice grey wood effect. Then all you do is just slide that onto your cage on the side and it just locks in place nicely, and that's not going anywhere. That I've chosen to put one on the left hand side and the right hand side, so you've got a nice comfortable grip like that, a little bit wider than what it would be if you just had it like that, for example. Then we've got the top handle. Self-explanatory really. But what I like about this is the cage has 3 different pinpoints, so you can move whereabouts your top handle is. So you can have it slightly to the right, perfectly in the middle, or slightly to the left, depending on the center of gravity and whereabouts that is. Yeah, so it seems that I would need that slightly over to the right for it to be nice and balanced. There we go. So it's good that it has that, because obviously your camera's not perfectly centered. What's really good about this Nato rail system, or the quick release plates, is that they don't move. There's no wiggle there whatsoever. That is solid. It's like one solid piece. So that's not going anywhere. Nice and sturdy. Then we've got a couple of mounts. We've got a monitor mount, which I've chosen to put at the end of the top handle. And that way I can put my monitor on the top like that, and I can easily tilt that up and down to whichever angle I want, and then just lock that off easily with this little thing here. And then we've got the double head ball mount joint. I love these because they're super tough, really strong, that's not going anywhere, and they're really versatile because you can use them in a lot of different ways, and because it's a little bit longer than just a normal monitor mount, you can position them a little bit further away if you needed to. So I might put this one over here, and then I could put a microphone on it, for example, and if it was in the way of this monitor, I can just use this arm to move it out of the way and get it off to one side, for example, and then I've got something that looks like that. So all the accessories come in these little boxes, which I really like. I love keeping things nice and tidy and out of the way in like their own dedicated box, because if you're not using something for a while, rather than just slinging it in a drawer with a bunch of cables and then not being able to find anything, it's got like its own dedicated place to be, so I like that. But the quality of all the parts themselves are really good. Again, I love the colour, I love the feel of it all, it feels really good quality. Obviously it's not like a expensive wood, but I don't need these handles to be expensive wood, it doesn't bother me. Like I've got this one for example, that is like a solid piece of wood, this small rig one, but I don't need it to be that, it doesn't matter. I quite like the grey. The Falcam one is a little bit smaller than this one that I've got here, and it feels good. As long as it's comfortable, as long as it works, it doesn't bother me really, I don't care what it looks like as long as it's not a ghastly colour. So what's really good about this system is all the parts go together, you know it's going to work, you can buy them all from the same place, and you know that all the parts can be used with your cage, so there's no second guessing or buying the wrong thing, for example. And you can fully customise your cage however you want to suit whatever you're doing. I think it's great, and I think it's a really good idea. The only thing at this point in time is there aren't that many different types of accessories, although it looks like I've shown you a lot. For example, I would like there to be a side handle where you can rotate the handle just so that you've got a little bit more variation of how you can hold it, because at the moment you have to make sure you're pointing it in the right way, whereas if I want to get a little bit lower, I have to move my arms down to compensate to point upwards, whereas if these handles rotated a bit, I could still have a nice comfortable grip and not have to worry about changing the position. But that's not to say they might not bring stuff like that in the future that you can add to it. And the other thing is, for example, I've chosen this top handle specifically to be able to move where the center of gravity is. I can move this handle backwards and forwards, whereas with this top handle you can't. It is stuck where it is. So I haven't got the option of being able to move it backwards or forwards to compensate for the weight distribution. But I really like the feel. I love the feel of this. It's a really good grip on these side handles. Who do I think this cage is for? I would say if you haven't got a cage, you've not got any parts or accessories already, this could be the way to go, because you're going to build it from the ground up and get all the parts that you need, and you know they're going to fit. If you already have a cage, would I recommend this? Probably not, but in the future when they've got more parts, it might be worth shifting over to this system, because the ease of use, the ease of being able to just switch things out nice and easily like that is just incredible. There's not a lot of cages where you can do that with. If I wanted to, it's fully customizable. Look at this, I could take this actual handle bit off and just have that and stick it underneath, and then I've got a little vlogging setup there. So I don't have to take my cage off to have this sort of setup. I can film myself whilst I've still got the cage on. And that's always been tricky. When I take my full cage out, I would then have to attach a plate to the bottom, then the Joe would be GorillaPod. Whereas now, I can actually use this top handle as a mini vlogging tripod setup type thing. If I wanted to take the weight off a little bit, I would just remove these handles quickly, stick the microphone on top, and away you go. Look at that. I'm well impressed. Or if you just want to do it like that, if you want to film in front of you like that, you've got that as well. I think it's amazing. I'd love to know your thoughts about this cage. What do you use already? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for plenty more stuff that's coming on the channel. If you've got any questions, let me know. In the meantime, have a good week, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.